The secret to a perfect steak, my dad used to say, is to leave it the hell alone. Get the grill hot enough to incinerate a small planet. Slap the meat on and don't touch it. Don't poke it. Don't prod it. And for the love of all that is holy, don't flip it more than once. You want simple? That's it. Beautiful, elegant, almost zen. But as I stood out on my back patio in Meadowlands, oversized tongs in hand, cold beer sweating on the railing beside me, listening to my dry-aged ribeye sizzle in sweet defiance, I realized my dad's philosophy had no place in a place like this. Because in Meadowlands, nothing is ever left the hell alone. See, the air here doesn't even smell like summer. It's fertilizer and judgment and this weird electric hum, like a leaf blower on the next block that you're only allowed to run between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on weekdays. You know that feeling when every little sound makes you worry you're breaking a rule? That's life now. According to the glossy brochure, this was a master plan community designed for harmonious living. But after 15 years of living wherever the Air Force sent me, dusty desert outposts, damp little bases carved out of nowhere, my wife Sarah had finally said enough. We made a killing off some MedEvac logistics software I built between deployments, and with that, a couple of kids, a moving truck full of mismatched furniture, and my discharge papers, we went hunting for normal. What we found was Meadowlands. Or, more accurately, we crash-landed here. That first night grilling, Sarah came outside holding a thick cream envelope like it might explode, official HOA seal up in the corner, looking less like a neighborly symbol and more like the crest of a minor dictatorship. "Another love letter from your fan club," she called, waving it with 2 fingers. "What is it this time?" I asked, not looking away from my steak. Did my shadow cross Mrs. Henderson's petunias? Did my thoughts exceed the decibel limit? "Close," Sarah said. "It's a final warning." She even did the air quotes. "Regarding the unapproved posterior hardscaping installation." I sighed, the kind of sigh that says, "This is how my soul erodes, one letter at a time." "It's a patio, Sarah. Humans have been pouring concrete since the Romans. I'm pretty sure it's an approved technology by now, but apparently not according to Brenda." Brenda, the name spoken in hushed, exasperated tones. Brenda 2 doors down, Brenda the self-appointed guardian of mediocrity, Brenda the president of the HOA, Brenda, who had sent us 3 notices in 3 months. First for our son's basketball hoop, because the color wasn't HOA approved. Then a letter about smoke from my grill offending the vegan yoga retreat next door. So I started using a box fan, angling smoke right back. But the patio was different. Because, see, it wasn't just a patio. The envelope in my hand was thick and formal. Words like heretofore, cease and desist, subject to fines and liens. They meant business. But here's the thing, I had a county permit. I was on a property survey. Sarah, bless her, leaned in close. "You told the HOA it was just a patio, right? Not a reinforced helipad, 50 by 50, with a giant painted H in the middle." Details. "It's a design choice, very minimalist, very modern," I said, waving the letter away. Truth is, the helipad was my only condition for moving here. I wasn't ready to give up flying. I'd signed on as a volunteer for Air Rescue 1, life flights in the backcountry, the kinds of runs I couldn't let go of. Having a pad at home shaved precious minutes off my response time. I had all my permits, FAA and county. But when I filled out the HOA form, I just said, heavy-duty patio for large gatherings. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right? I noticed a flash of sun off a windshield, Brenda, prowling the street in her beige Lexus. She scanned the house, the lawn, the mailbox, which I'd been warned was half an inch too high, finally locking eyes with me on my illegal patio. I gave her a cheerful 2-click wave with the tongs, click, click. The Lexus did not speed up. It just kept gliding along, slow as a land shark. Sarah shuddered. She gives me the creeps, like a disappointed librarian with surveillance drones. I shrugged, finally flipping my steak, feeling defiant. "She's all bark, no bite," I told her. That, as it turned out, was a catastrophic miscalculation. A week later, my contractor S was back, big, gruff, hands like old leather, the kind of guy who's been everywhere, built everything, seen it all. He stood dead center on the H, coffee in hand, and I asked him about building a retractable hangar, something that would rise out of the ground and shield my chopper, or at least hide it from Brenda's prying binoculars. He barked a laugh. "You want a Bond villain setup in this place? Kid, you got more guts than brains. Is it doable?" I asked. "Anything's doable if your check's big enough. But do you really want to poke the bear again?" S gestured down the block toward Brenda's place. "She absorbs misery, you know? Gets stronger with every HOA complaint." I played it cool, but S wasn't joking. He told me about a guy who'd fought Brenda over a Halloween scarecrow, $5,000 in legal fees over a $30 lawn ornament. She's a genius, kid. An evil, petty, soul-crushing genius. We both turned when the side gate creaked open. There she was, Brenda in full regalia. Pastel tracksuit, clipboard, look of terminal disappointment. "Mr. Miller, I see your project is complete. The patio? Yeah, turn out great. You should come to the barbecue. Mean margarita I make." Her eyes narrowed. She was not a margarita person. She was a room-temperature water with a lemon wedge and an environmental impact report person. She pointed at my concrete, gross violation of Section 14, subsection C, paragraph 2. No hardscaping over 300 square feet without written consent. "It's just a patio," I smiled. "A very, very sturdy patio." S coughed, hiding a laugh. Brenda glanced at S, dismissed him as hired help, then reminded me all contractors must register with the HOA and display a pass. S raised his thermos. "I'm not a contractor today, ma'am. Just a friend having coffee." The look she gave could have frozen lava. She made an angry check mark and marched off, a harbinger of doom in pink velour. And that's when the real storm began. 2 weeks later, I'm in my home office, helicopter gleaming on the pad, police scanner mumbling in the background. The tone hit, a digital beep that means stop everything. Pediatric medical emergency, 10-year-old girl, anaphylactic shock at a remote campsite. Ambulance over an hour out. My house is the closest air asset. Can you respond? I was already moving, grabbing helmet, keys running through pre-flight in my head. Bursting out the back door, I stopped dead. Brenda's Lexus was parked dead center on my helipad, precisely, perfectly, maliciously parked with Brenda herself filming from 50 yards away, arms crossed and smiling like the cat that ate the canary. I lost it. "Brenda, move your car now." She just grinned wider. "I'm afraid I can't do that, Mr. Miller. This is private property and your patio is unsanctioned. I'm documenting this for the authorities." Time was bleeding away. Kid in shock. Seconds mattered. "I'll pay for your car wash. I'll buy you a new car. Just move it. I'm sure the authorities will be very interested in your illegal activities, endangering the community with this war machine," she purred, filming. I glanced at my bird, sitting useless. And then the pilot in me snapped awake. Mission first. Adapt, improvise, overcome. I turned back to the chopper, helmet on, toggled the mic. My medic, Dave, was already in the co-pilot's seat. "Ready to go, Jack? What's the holdup?" "Minor obstruction," I said, firing up the rotors. "It's going to get windy." I eased the skids right to the edge, main rotor barely clearing Brenda's Lexus by a couple feet, the reinforced lawn holding the rest. Deep breath, pushed the turbine to flight idle. The world exploded in chaos. Rotor wash hammered the Lexus. Mulch, dirt, leaves, and a flamingo went cartwheeling through the air, slamming into Brenda's car with a satisfying thwack. Her perfect hair went vertical. Her phone went flying. The look on her face, sheer horror. I lifted off, executed a perfect tight takeoff, left her car rocking and the street covered in suburban debris. The mission was a success. The little girl survived. But coming back, I found the police waiting, Brenda raging, her Lexus dusty and dented, flamingo wedged under a tire. 2 cops standing there like this was the weirdest thing they'd seen all week. Brenda was shrieking about reckless endangerment, property destruction, and FAA violations. Officer Miller, older, patient, and clearly over all of this, heard me out. I showed the MedEvac dispatch log, my FAA registration, my volunteer badge. Rookie Davis took notes. Brenda howled that it was an illegal flight zone. Miller just sighed and told her, "Ma'am, as far as the feds are concerned, this is an airport, and you knowingly obstructed a medical emergency. You're lucky I'm not arresting you." Brenda, for once, was speechless. But the war wasn't over. 3 days later came a thick packet: lawyer letters, fines for unauthorized use of lawn, excessive noise, wind-based redistribution of landscape materials, and my favorite, emotional counseling for a traumatized flamingo. The final threat? A lien on my property unless I paid $5,000 and removed the unapproved structure. Sarah was furious, and honestly, I was rattled. As had warned me, she doesn't care about being right, just about winning. It was time for a new tactic: malicious compliance. I filled out the HOA's forms in excruciating detail, requesting to repaint Brenda's Lexus due to wind-displaced avian statuary. Included her exact car specs, attached a printout of the paint's material safety sheet, even built a weather contingency plan for the project. I measure my grass daily, emailed photo evidence, always under 3 inches. I hand-delivered proactive flight path notices to every house. Neighbors started nodding at me, quietly approving. Mrs. Henderson told me Brenda had tried to fine her for the flamingo being insufficiently anchored. Chad, the tech guy next door, once fined for his window trim being the wrong shade of white, became my new ally. He helped dig up the HOA's hidden financials, uncovering something huge. A landscaping company, Meadowlands Premium, paid triple market rate, owned by Brenda's brother-in-law. We brought receipts, literally, to the emergency board meeting. Brenda called to finish me off. The clubhouse was packed, Brenda at the podium, righteously furious, painting me as a threat to the neighborhood. When she called a vote to put a lien on my home, I invoked my right to speak. I told the crowd about Lily, the girl I'd saved. I played her mother's voicemail. The room was dead silent, people in tears. Then Chad connected his laptop and projected the evidence. 5 years of HOA money funneled into Brenda's family's pockets. The room erupted. Mr. Henderson called for a vote of no confidence. Brenda was ousted in a landslide. She left the clubhouse with her head down, her reign of beige terror over. 3 months later, life was good. The new HOA president, Deb, was reasonable. First bylaw passed. Emergency aircraft and vehicles are exempt from all ordinances. Brenda moved to a condo with no lawn. S built me a retractable hangar. Press a button, and the helicopter disappears like a magician's trick. Kids left crayon helicopter drawings in my mailbox. Neighbors waved. Sarah brought me a cold beer, grinning. "They want to put you on the news," she said. I groaned, but I was happy, genuinely, deeply happy. I'd fought the law, and for once the law lost. I watched my steak, not poking it, just letting it be the way Dad would have liked. Sometimes, I guess, you really do have to stir up the neighborhood to get a little peace. But hey, at least now the flamingos are all staying in their own yards. Well, mostly. So let me ask you, what's more important in a place like this? Following every rule or actually helping your neighbor when it counts? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your best HOA war stories, your own Brenda nightmares, your wildest tales of victory or defeat. And if you stuck around for the whole saga, smash that like, share your story, and tell me, where do you draw the line between rules and real life?